My purpose then is still to overcome the world. I do not attack it, but my light must dispel it because of what it is. The world is darkness, the absence of light. Shine light into the darkness, and it is gone. This has nothing to do with the world we see, for since it does not exist, it need not be saved. What Jesus saves is our minds that believed in a world, because we first believed in an ego. Forgiveness, our change of mind, is the light that gently dispels the mind's darkness of guilt. The key word here is gentle, for to attack means to see reality where it is not, and then strive to defeat it. However, all we need to do to overcome illusion is to look at it with Jesus' light, which shines away the cloud of belief that hid the simple fact that there was no ego there at all, nor a world that seemed to arise from it. Light does not attack darkness, but it does shine it away. If my light goes with you everywhere, you shine it away with me. The light becomes ours, and you cannot abide in darkness any more than darkness can abide wherever you go. The remembrance of me is the remembrance of yourself and of him who sent me to you. This is the theme Jesus asks that we carry with us throughout the day, the melody he wants with us as part of the forgotten song. Whenever we are tempted to see separation between ourselves and others, we should think of Jesus' melody of oneness and realize that feeling separate either by special love or special hate is but a way of trying to keep separate from the love of God. We fear this love, and even though we may still choose to embrace our specialness, we can at least know what we are doing. This awareness is the meaning of bringing illusion to truth, our darkness to Jesus' healing light. You were in darkness until God's will was done completely by any part of the sonship. When this was done, it was perfectly accomplished by all. How else could it be perfectly accomplished? In other words, if God's will is perfectly accomplished, it must be in everyone, for everyone, with everyone, because his sonship is one. Otherwise, it is not perfect and could not be the Christ. Only the ego would have us believe in the reality of fragmented minds that require individual salvation. The truth remains that we were with Jesus when he completed his part in the plan, for the mind of God's Son is one in truth and illusion. My mission was simply to unite the will of the sonship with the will of the Father by being aware of the Father's will myself. Once again, since we are one, we were with Jesus when he arose and began to save the world. When he awoke from the dream of death, this having nothing to do with the so-called physical resurrection, we were with him because our minds are joined. Jesus is the expression in the right mind's dream of atonement that the separation from the will of God never happened. However, this fact of salvation means nothing if we do not bring to that shining symbol of atonement, I, Jesus, am the atonement, our futile attempts to prove it otherwise. These include our efforts to demonstrate how separate and different we are, and how those differences make a difference, which they clearly do to the specialness that is the ego's constant wish. This is the awareness I came to give you, and your problem in accepting it is the problem of this world. The problem of the world is that we choose not to accept the atonement principle that Jesus offers us. Instead, we believe in the myriad issues and concerns used by the ego to conceal the true problem, the mind's refusal to accept the truth that separation from God's will never happened. Dispelling it is salvation, and in this sense, I am the salvation of the world. The world must therefore despise and reject me because the world is the belief that love is impossible. This is the ego's fear, which is why Jesus is such a terrifying symbol to us all. If he is who he says he is here, if his love is alive and fully present in our minds, then everything the ego has taught and the world teaches is wrong. Special love, the ego's distorted version of love, is an illusion and cannot be real. To the extent that we identify with our specialness, however, we will despise Jesus and reject his course's message of salvation. The love of God is not only possible, but has never not been. If you will accept the fact that I am with you, you are denying the world and accepting God. My will is his, and your decision to hear me is the decision to hear his voice and abide in his will. As God sent me to you, so will I send you to others, and I will go to them with you so we can teach them peace and union. Jesus does not mean send literally, although it is often our experience that he sends us to people, as it was Helen's. Since her ego did not want her sent to help anyone, she felt it had to be Jesus who told her to be helpful. It was Helen's resistance to her right-minded decision that caused the experience of someone else sending her. In reality, accepting Jesus' loving presence in our mind is what sent Helen and sends all of us on the mission of denying the world's version of peace and bringing the true peace of Jesus to the mind of God's Son. Again, Jesus is not a chess master who manipulates us as if we were pieces on a board. He does not have a plan to save the non-existent world. He is the plan. His timeless love has no form. We are the ones who shape the content of this love, and forgetting we have done so, have the illusion of a specific plan that contains a specific role for us and others. Of such specialness is the ego's kingdom on earth, and because specifics are the level of our experience, Jesus appears to speak to us there and not to our unconscious decision-making minds that alone contain the plan.